This is Minahel. We are back with another amazing session. Welcome everyone back. So this time we have a very different theme, exploring the future of gaming culture. Okay, so I wouldn't take much of your time. I will be your host, and I will be you're going to be seeing a lot till the end of the event. So for our first session, we have Diego Abrajo, product evangelist at Quit Gaming community, and he will be giving the keynote. So please welcome. Hello, hello.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you, Minali? I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly.
Uh, yeah, yeah, it's Manal, right? You name correctly after so many people, so good. So okay, so let's start with our keynote. So the topic is
Okay.
gaming as a cultural power. So what's your insights about it? What do you want to share? Just move it
Sure.
to.
So basically, we were going to talk about how important it is user-generated content and how big it is important for the gaming culture, and of course, how we see this trend evolving. Uh, in my opinion, I think it is what's being happening on nowadays, and most of the most famous games like we see on Roblox and Minecraft are kind of being rebranded, and it's being probably one of the most important things nowadays. Not It's not only what game developers can create to the players, but what players can create to the game. So I think the most important games, or the games that have been having the most success, is the games that give the tools to the players to help them to create new content. And most of the most famous games, this is not only from now, started by other games from mods, like actual different game modes on actual games. Like, for example, Counter Strike, that's really well known right now, started as a mod for Half-Life. And we also have Dota, that then another company created League of Legends, that started as a mod for Warcraft 3. So we see that this is an actual trend. It's not only happening now with Roblox and Minecraft, that people want to use that, and they love that kind of content. The players like those games that have the freedom to create their own experience, not only for themselves but also to other players. And especially with social media right now, YouTube, TikTok, this is even more prominent, because they want to get noticed, they want to create their own game modes, and they want to feel like people like their work, people are having fun, and gives more freedom. Like, for example, as a gaming company, they cannot create certain drastic change that goes against what they think it works. Like, we are not going to see a game like, for example, FIFA, like big games starting to do something different. But if they allow players to be able to create their own game modes, they can give that responsibility to the player side. They are the ones who can test it a lot, and they're gonna create a lot of these different game content. And I think it will allow them to experiment. And people love to experiment. And especially from my background with Kudo, since we are a Web3 gaming company, we see a lot of that. That we hear the community a lot. So we are not only developing things and expecting them to just play that and that's it. We want to give them the freedom to use our games in our ecosystem and to create their own experience. And this also, we see this as really good in open world games. Like, for example, we have games like Grand Theft Auto, where we can see like people like to go there and role play a certain experience. Like, they want to use the game to be someone that they will not be on real life. So we see that there is a lot of experience that people love to do this, and there is a lot of games that are now implementing that part of social media into their games as well. Like the Cyberpunk, although they didn't have a launch that release that they wanted, they give that experience where they want people to be themselves or be whatever they want in game and have that experience in game. And we also see that with Red Dead Redemption. So a lot of these games are now implementing these big games from AAA studios are now trying to give that experience that players can have the freedom not only to create different mods on their games, but also to have a similar real life experience, but with that twist that only that the games provides. And this helps them to create their own persona in game, and also helps in terms of developing other skills that will be valuable for their professional environment. Like for example, in when we are playing World of Warcraft, I remember back on those those days, and even now, that it required a lot of strategic thinking. We needed to make sure that we optimize our resources, what we achieved up until then, and try to optimize everything so that we can conquer that boss. So not only strategic thinking, teamwork, communication, problem solving, even, and even adaptability, because not everything gonna happen as we want. There's gonna be that twist that we were not expecting, because games are not meant to be um, equal every time. Well, some games are like those old games like Tetris, Pong. You have like those patterns that you need to follow. But these new games are more random, are more with using, especially with generative AI right now, they can use to make every experience in game feel different. So these are things that resemble the real world, and they can definitely improve while playing. So playing is not only a waste of time, in my opinion. I think it is a good way for them to not only build social skills that will be valuable for the professional setting, like the ones I mentioned: strategic thinking, teamwork, communication, problem solving, and I think the most important will be adaptability, because everything is never going to happen as according as planned. So it's good that you are good and it's adapting to all the things that going to happen, that you are not expecting. Uh, so I think this is really good. And of course, with these new technologies like virtual reality, augmented reality, and even AI that are really shaping the future of gaming, because it gives a lot of different experience to not only the players but also to developers by developing their game. Um, like we see a lot of different experience, like even with Pokemon Go, that was really hyped like 2 3 years ago, or, more, probably more time. And the people were going outside, and usually gaming was thought that it was something that you do inside, and you didn't interact with other people. But they are establishing new patterns, new things that they are doing. And so Pokemon Go was a really good experience. And there was something that was never thought about it, or thought about, but there was not the technology for it. And especially now with VR, people are getting more immersive experience. And as soon as these technologies get more polished, because for now I think they are still a little bit raw, even though you can have a good experience, not an experience that you want to have on a daily basis. Like you, for example, you might want to play a VR game. At least this is my personal experience and what I see from other game developers that are developing this. They see that they want to play, but there's no such as repeatability on playing those games, because they get tired faster than they usually are playing like a normal game on console or on PC. But if we start seeing the more optimized version of this, they will be able to see it as a really good option for it. But on my case, we are, as I said, a Web3 gaming company. Our gaming platform is called Kudo, and we see this opportunity to give freedom to the players and developers, as a really niche that we can adapt, and something that we can use with the use of blockchain. In our case, what we do is we have a gaming platform with our already 44 games, and what we do is we invite indie game developers to join in. We give them an SDK that they can implement, and they can use the same token on all games that are on the platform. So, for example, if I'm playing a game A, let's say it is a puzzle game, I can use the in-game currency of that game right right when I'm playing, but I can also use that the same in-game currency on other games. So I'm more willing to test it out the game to use my credits on that game, because I know that's not gonna be stuck on that game. So this gives a new experience, but not only the tokens will be important, but especially the gaming assets. So for example, I think most of us that like shooter games like Counter Strike, Team Fortress, and even Valorant will love if we could have our own weapon and use it on all those games. But we know they are developed by different companies, so we need to acquire different weapons on all games, and this can be a little bit of a bummer. But what we are doing is using blockchain technology to allow players to have that weapon that they can use on all games across the Google platform, even though they are not developed the same company. And even better, we even develop a tool that we are providing to the players that they can design their own weapon called Garage. So I think that's a really cool thing, that you can design that own weapon, your own weapon, and use it and on all games, and even optimize it the way you want and the way you think it matches your style. So this is one of the things that we want to achieve with these new technologies that are emerging, with, especially with blockchain, NFT technology. But we wanted to use it to leverage the gaming industry, to give them more tools for players to have fun with it, to use it. And we hope that more gaming studios will adapt this as a new norm. People are going to experiment. It's not going to be then what fully well optimized right at start. But I think it is a good way that gives players the tools for them to create their own experience in game, and game developers will more giving them like the environment that they are going to use their assets that they are creating, similar to what we see now with Roblox. It gives a lot of freedom and to the players to create their own experience. And Minecraft, or in a some game like Sandbox, gives the developers and the players to create their own experience. We also want to create that, and I think it is the way to go, and how we are going. I think it's a really good experience, and definitely invite you guys to jump in, and it will be really cool to see it. Yeah, thank you for having me. Let me see if we have some questions.
Yes, that's what I am trying to say, is that we have few questions that people want to ask. Is how, like, how
Sure.
are NFTs being incorporated into gaming?
So there it is, in my opinion, the good way and the bad way that games are incorporating NFTs into gaming. So there is the bad way, which is you have something or an image that belongs to you, and it's written on the blockchain, that asset, or that asset that can be an image, any video, or whatever, it's yours. It's written on the blockchain. But this is the main premise. But for us, that's not enough. For us, NFT should be an actual gaming asset that has utility beyond the environment that you are. For example, what we are doing, like I said, you should have a weapon that you can use on more games besides your own ones. It is giving utility that even though if we stop developing our games, you can still use that same weapon on other games. But what we usually see is companies that they are using blockchain technology to create those NFTs, but they can only be used on their own games. So what matters is it is no difference than the normal weapon that you see on a Web2 game that's not using NFT technology, because if that game stops existing, your NFT will not have any utility elsewhere. So it's the same thing as being a normal asset. Being written on a blockchain will not make it any more important, in my opinion.
Okay, what's the
Okay.
most popular video game?
Well, that's a bit subjective, but if we go to Twitch charts, we will say that it is been League of Legends for the last 12, 13 years. So I would say like it is MOBA, but that's a bit subjective. The most popular, it will be definitely MOBA. At least for the last 12 years, especially to the rise of popularity of League of Legends and how they are conquering the world, especially on the Asia side. But I think that's been changed over the years. I think still it is really focused on MOBA, and not only on playtime but on view time. And nowadays that's really important because more and more people actually prefer to watch other people playing games than actually playing the games themselves. And this is a trend that when I was younger I will never expect this to happen, but it is happening. So yeah, MOBA is probably the most played in watch right now. But shooting games, if you see it as a collective, because there's a lot of titles that probably all of them combined can come close to mobile games as well. Like we see like with Counter Strike, we see them also with Valorant. So it's coming close.
So, what's your opinion about the storytelling games, like the games that in which you were doing the stories, like World of Craft or Assassin's Creed, something like that? What's your opinion on
Okay,
what
I
made
think
us
they
basically?
still have their niche. I think there is a niche of people that like that good storyline, that game that you can pause whenever you want, that game that you can play on your free time and have their own experience with in some storyline. I don't think it is what most people are looking for right now, because people like that social aspect in gaming. If you see, like, the most played games are the ones that you can play online, but there is still a niche of players that play those games, especially because those games usually have a really good storyline. But of course, not only single player games that with story based games are games like Assassin's Creed and others. There are other smaller games that probably don't have that much attention. But yeah, I think if they're a good storyline, especially the ones that I see that are the most uh, promising, the ones that give you more freedom, the ones that your choices actually matter in game. Not like wherever you do, the end's gonna be the exact the same way. Like Elder Ring, even Detroit, where the ending of the game will be different depending on your choices in game. I think those are the ones that define that story RPG or playing game. At least my opinion. I think those are the ones that actually deserve my time.
Okay, okay, perfect. Okay, how do online gaming communities influence social media connections? How do you think?
Sorry, can you repeat?
The question is, how do online gaming communities influence? So what's your opinion on?
So it influenced a lot. Like a lot of changes that we did on our platform came from the community itself. Like, of course, there's ways and ways to do it. What we've been doing is we create first what we call it. It's not a prototype, but we tested first in the community to see what's the path that we are gonna go. So especially what we are developing now with that interoperable gaming assets, where you can use an asset on different games. We just released now the first version, and we give out to the community for them to test it. And based on their feedback and how we see it action, so we have data that we see how people are, if they are enjoying what they are doing, we kind of being adapting to it. So the community is really important, and more important is being, especially on the Web3 side, so on our niche. So community is probably one of the most important things. I think every game should hear the community, and we don't see that often on the Web2 side. But that's how it is. But on Web3, it's good that you hear the community, because they're also going to have an opinion. They are the ones who are going to be playing on our platform. They are the ones who are going to utilize your platform. So it's good for them to be heard, and it's good feedback that the developers should hear and also interact with them, because nowadays it's all about social activity. We Most people spend more time on the phone and then they spend like talking to someone. I know it's not the best scenario, but it happens. So it's good that we have a good social people feel that they belong there, and they have a say in it, so that they can actually help create a better gaming environment. So I think there's more important than most projects give.
Thank you so much, Diego, for your insights. It was lovely hearing the insights from you. And
Thank you.
thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. So, okay, everyone. So
Thank you so much.
let's move to another session of us. That's the firefight session. Okay, beyond the screen, gaming impacts on life. So for that, we have Babakar Heather with us. He is a director, a game enthusiast. Like he has a lot more gaming champion to have taken. So I think he gonna describe himself in a better way. Hi, hello.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. I am extremely thrilled and honored to be on this podcast. First of all, I would like to thank everyone who's down there in the chat. Since I do streaming, so I was actually about to, greet everyone the streaming way, so I chose not to. Um, Unfortunately, I haven't really prepared anything to speak about, but I'm just gonna try and stay really concise to the best of my ability. So my name is Babakar Heather. I am also known as the Soul Dragger. That's my gaming name, and I've done my bachelor's of arts in film and television. And film and television was just a part of me learning how to play video games, to be very honest. And yes, I got to learn the film side of it and all of that jazz. And then I moved, to mobile game industry. I became a 3D artist. I then became a CG general. I almost done everything. That's the worst part of my life. And I would say that's what's part of my life, because it's pretty chaotic, like being a musician to a filmmaker to a 3D artist to a gamer to a streamer to a content creator. Like, there, unfortunately, I can't put boundaries to my limit. And sometimes it's a good thing, and other times it's not. But I understand, that's how life works. So I've been in mobile game industry for a very, very long time, and I got to work in the industry for about 5 years. And my experience was a bit meh, in the middle. I just because like an artist like me who actually comes from fighting games and all those PC games that excites you, and then in the mobile game industry, you're actually basically working for kids, right? So your target audiences are mostly the kids. And I kind of really didn't enjoy that very aspect of it, because it actually limitized my art barrier. I felt like like it's killing the inner art in me. So I decided not to like pursue that. And honestly, like mobile game industry is sadly, it's it's dying, I must say that. A lot of people are making money out of that, but from an artist perspective, I think it's not my cup of tea. Most of the time you're basically making stuff for kids, you know and when you grow up, you probably do not feel inclined to like work on games for kids. But anyways, so
Okay,
um
so
yeah, go on.
I have some questions for you. Let's start with it. Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay. So, how do open world gaming empower players to create their own story? What's your opinion on that?
I think anyone who's gamer would appreciate, and also someone who has something to do with the 3D background will actually get to appreciate those games, considering that they get to explore the environment and just interact with objects and all of that stuff. I still remember me, I was playing Last of Us. It's not an open world game, but I would like to just quickly touch to give you an example, that we were so into the games that we even found some texture mistakes in that game, just because we were just roaming around within that game. So yes, I think it's open world, definitely enhances one's experience to, how they, view life itself. And the best part about having, small quests that you actually, it also create a sense of helping others, by playing open world games. Like you got a quest, there's an old woman who needs something, so you go to that woman. She tells you, okay, my child is dying, can you bring me some medicines? So you go get those medicines. Like it kind of adds to a lot of the personality. And the best part is like how devs actually, like incorporate all of these details within the game to, like make you feel how they want you to make you, like how they want you to feel, and it's a very, very deep art rooted fundamental, I must say. And I feel like, it's a great way to, like, know more about the life than just playing the game. Open world actually, like opens a lot of horizons out there.
Okay, so coming out to the next question, what skill development through gaming? What are the skills you think we can develop through gaming? And that would be valuable in a professional field too.
I think um you shouldn't be taking advice from me, to be very honest. Like, I wouldn't say that whatever I'm gonna say that you guys should actually take it as something, the most awesome thing out there. No, I think it's very experience driven, right? And a lot of people, like, even in gamers, we do have a lot of diversity, if you really ask me. Like, I'm someone who likes to play horror games, but there aren't many people who actually like horror games, for instance, right? I'm so much into killing zombies, but someone else might might get scared. So I think what gaming can develop within you is that you choose a game and you learn how to operate that game by, by getting familiar with the mechanics. Same with, like, same as life. You get tasks that you're probably, and especially when someone is at work, like, you will definitely come across a work that you haven't done before, but right, you just need to do that work in order to know, like, how it gets done. So I think from video games basically help you, know how in life tasks are really important. And I think if you have an artist in you, you will probably appreciate some 2D sprites, 3D models, game objects, and all of that jazz. If you happen to be a developer, you will probably appreciate some of the codes that someone has written that does wonders. And if someone who's just a layman, or who has nothing to do with designing and development, will probably play the game for their inner fulfillment. And it entirely depends, like, it entirely depends on their hollowness and how their void, that needs to be quenched. I think, you whatever drives you and motivates you to play a certain games, it's kind of something that, like, it helps you, get something out of that game as well.
Okay, so there is a question from audience. I think we should take that. Okay, so they
Yes,
ask what
please
are
go
the
on.
advantages of SSDs over HDDs of gamings? Definitely, I don't know anything about it, but maybe you know.
SSDs over HDDs for gaming.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think, listen, it's really simple. Like, ssds have evolved throughout the time. I'm honestly not the right guy that you should be asking this question to me, but Taiba, I can try and answer your question. That, ssds are, if I'm understanding them correctly, if they are the ssds, I know that they are faster, right? And HDDs are slower. Back in time, there were games that needed more RAM power and all of that stuff. But right now it's all about SSDs. There HDDs are probably obsolete now.
Okay. How does virtual reality change the gaming experience? I think it changed a lot, right?
Change the oh, absolutely. I mean, this is a very immersive experience if you really ask me. Like, for instance, I will give you an example. Oh my god, I'm giving you horrible examples today, but let me give you an example. Like, for instance, if you're playing Resident Evil 7, a game from Capcom that is first person survival horror game. If you're playing that game and on PC you're just playing as a first person shooter, you will probably still get scared. But if you I challenge you to play that game on VR. It's my open challenge to anyone who thinks they are really cool with the VR things and everything. Honestly, that game entirely changes the experience. And the jump scares are real, and I mean it.
Okay. How do gaming engines like Unreal and Unity impact gaming development?
Okay, so we've been hearing a lot of silly stuff from a lot of people telling me that Unreal Engine is very unoptimal. A lot of people were talking about how games made in Unreal Engine are so unoptimal these days, as opposed to the past and everything. I think Unreal Engine is still evolving. It is going to evolve forever. That's the kind of engine it is. And I think sorry, I just skipped your question again. Can you repeat the question again?
So the question is, how do games like Unreal and Unity impact gaming development? Do you think the
Yeah,
could
yes, indeed. I mean,
yeah? Do you think
engine. Yes, please complete your sentence. Go on.
I was just asking that, like, do you think that it's gonna affect the game quality or game development or the way it builds in how
I
which
think
engine it
it already has, like it already have. And if you really ask me, like a lot of mobile games, they tend to go for engines like Unity, for instance, right? And people who want to develop some good AR apps, and all of those people tend to go for Unreal Engine. So I think, like, um these engines are definitely adding a lot of qualities, because I am personally aware of studios like Capcom, for instance, right? Capcom have their own engine, you know and like cyberpunk guys, CD Project Red have their own engine, right? Why they are not working on Unreal Engine or Unity, right? So sometimes, like, there's some boundaries to everything, and a lot of people have. And it also very pipeline driven, to be very honest. Like, if I have a pipeline that isn't really Unreal friendly, then I'm definitely gonna opt for a different engine. So yeah. And both engines are good, but I wonder why Capcom, to make Resident Evil or Street Fighter 6, never use Unreal Engine. That's the
okay.
question.
Okay, so uh let's move to another question. How do you think gaming affect your personal growth, like maybe team building or logical thinking or problem solving? Do you think gamings can help you in
Is
this
that a
growth?
personal question? Because I'm gonna take that question personally, because
Do you think that's, yeah, you can share your opinion and definitely that, but now it's your
I
podcast, so you're going
think
to be
I
sharing.
am I am a byproduct of this very question. I am living, breathing, walking video game, person. And I think the fact that I became a commentator for Tekken World Tour is because I actually like to keep talking about the game. So
Okay.
imagine you used to play. I used to play
Like
Tekken, right?
that
So
does it help you?
come again.
I was saying, so you were, does it help you in any way? Like, because you said you are all about gaming. So does it help you in your personal life, like maybe problem solving techniques or teamwork or building
Listen,
things?
it goes really far, to be very honest. Like, I must draw a line between some categories. There are, like the worst and the good thing about gamers is that there are so many type of gamers out there. Imagine I gave you an example that, some people do tend to appreciate horror games, and others don't. So I think people who tend to play very role play games, are very problem solving people, perhaps. I'm just assuming, right? And a person like me who is a byproduct of horror games and fighting games, right? Maybe I'm very chaotic person, right? And you don't know. And maybe I'm entire opposite because the game made me like that, right? It all comes down to experience and how you create that balance with your life and the game itself. I think, as we all know, like, excess of everything is bad. We've heard that, quite some time now. So I would say that, finding a balance is absolutely the key. And sometimes you just have to. And like, I came to a conclusion now at the age of 35, that if you want to play a video game, right, and you just want to have fun, then you are an entirely a different category of guy, right? But there is another guy who has taken the game so seriously that he freaking wants to compete now, right? So he has a very different roadmap than you. He then now wants to compete at the highest level. Let's take an example of any PUBG, Fortnite, Valorant, or CS guys. Have you seen them? You probably have seen them in your own office, right? So those guys are, they cannot focus on their esports career because they're doing a job. They have a family to feed, right? And they can't, technically focus on that. And all of that, frustration, might trigger in them. You never know that, they're probably doing a job and they're not happy, but they're on the other side, they're really good at a game that they can really pursue and make a career of. But unfortunately, that's not happening. So I think it all comes down to and having a very good infrastructure. Unfortunately, we are developing that, but we're not there yet. But I must finish this very question by saying that, um, just be wise what game you play. If you want to just have fun, please play those funny games. If you want to compete and take a competitive game seriously, then please, choose that game wisely, like PUBG or Fortnite. Those games have a very big learning curve, or it does have a growth potential too. Like, for instance, I'll just close by saying that if we have five players, five very good, talented individuals, right? We know that they are the best at the game, but unfortunately, there is no sponsor to sponsor them to be able to play, a tournament abroad to, see them grow, right? So it all comes down to having resources towards the end, I guess.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Bhavika, for the amazing insights and for the
Okay.
energy. I definitely get the sea of a gamer energy live today.
Okay.
So thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I'm on YouTube with the same name, the Soul Dragger, and Instagram and everywhere. Make sure you guys, come and say hi to me every time I stream. I stream some Tekken and some other PC games. Would love to know what do you guys think, and would love to take some crazy feedbacks from you guys as well. I'm really enjoying these questions. I can go all day answer all of these questions,
Perfect,
but yeah, I think
perfect.
the time is running out for everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay, that's That's a question that I would actually like to answer. What's your favorite Easter egg in a game?
Okay, go
That's
ahead.
it. That's okay. I think my favorite Easter egg in a game, of course, it's gonna come from there are so many that now I'm processing which one I'm gonna say that, but I think there are some crazy ones that, especially if you play some Resident Evil games, I think you will find many Easter eggs from Resident Evil 1 to 2 to 3. There are so many Easter eggs I can name off, but I think my particular favorite one would be that in Resident Evil 3 original 1998 PlayStation 1, there was a room in the game that was not openable, right? You cannot open that door, right? Later on in PlayStation 2, they actually made that room, you know, to be opened. And when you go in that room, you can actually find different costumes, to change your costumes, and all of that stuff. So yeah, please go on. Microtransaction affect the gaming industry. Okay, that's a difficult one. I think I will leave that for someone else. Thank you very much, guys,
Thank you so
and
much. Thank you
appreciate.
so much.
Take care.
Okay, so that was an amazing session. Okay, let's get moving forward to another our session, that is our panel discussion. And the topic of our panel discussion is gaming trends shaping tomorrow. So for panel discussion, we have our first 3 to 4 speakers. One is Hamza Kiani, the other one is Sana and Anas. Hello guys, how are you?
Hey,
Hello,
hello.
I'm fine.
Okay, can you please go
Hi,
one by one
I'm
and
fine.
introduce yourself? Start with Hamza.
Thank you, Minal. It's an honor to be here. I'm Hamza Kiani, and I'm currently working as a game producer at Narson Studios.
Okay, go on, Sana.
It's hello.
Um, Hi everyone. This is me, Sana Amin, and I am a gaming enthusiast. And I love to explore the gaming trends and insights. I'm thrilled to be here tonight to talk about the future of gaming.
Okay, Anas, your turn.
Hi, my name is Ans Naveed, and I'm a senior game developer at Rhinestone Studios, and I've been working there for about more than 3 years.
Okay, so I will be asking, throwing a lot of questions to all of you. So we can maybe just start with Hamza. Okay, let's start with you, Hamza. The gaming industry has opened a diverse career paths. What trends do you see in terms of job creations and skill development?
And, could you repeat the question?
Yeah, sure. Okay, okay. So opens a diverse career path. As what are the trends do you see in terms of creating jobs and skill development?
Okay, so as you know, the market in the game industry is moving toward UGC. So we see the trends in most popular games such as Fortnite, such as Roblox, and Minecraft also. That these games are enabling players to create their own mini games or mods into the game. So the player can just create their own games. You just need creativity. So I think the trends are moving towards creating not a game, but a game engine in which everyone can be a creator, right? So most impressively, what Fortnite is doing currently, it allows the players to just create their own version of the game and upload it freely onto the Fortnite servers. And from there, how much engagement his game gets, then he gets paid into his PayPal account. So I see the trend moving towards this place, this UGC, where every user can create his own content onto the game, and earn from himself.
Okay, perfect. This is something that I don't know. As Opus AI, we also provide you a text to gaming platform where you can write the text and convert it into a 3D visuals that you can use in your games. So, okay, first, Sana, let's move to you for our next question. Just let take a question from an audience. Okay. Why is the character customization important for gamers?
Can you please repeat the question?
Yeah, why is character customization is important for gamers?
Um,
I think you didn't get the question.
no idea.
Okay, so the question is why the character customization in game is important for a gamer that you can customize it. Do you think is it's important they would allow you to customize your character?
Okay. Character customization allows gamers to personalize their in-games avatars by modifying features like appearance, clothing abilities, and equipments. It enhances players' immersion, creativity, and individuality, offering a unique gaming experience.
Okay, perfect. Okay, Anas. Coming on to you. You are also a game developer, so let me ask something to do.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. How do you like blockchain, including NFT, influence in gaming economy and ownerships? Do you think like lots of gaming coming towards an NFTs or blockchain through?
Well, blockchain and NFTs, yeah, I've definitely heard of them back in the year 2020. And yeah, they did make a name for themselves, but the NFTs died real quick. So not many are approaching it anymore, and it's just, uh, to me, it's more of a dead trend. So in the near future, I, I mean, currently, uh, the cryptocurrency is on the rise, and I don't know, like maybe NFTs can make a comeback into the games and virtual reality and everything. But if we're talking about adding the NFTs being implemented into the games, they can just change like I I think if I remember correctly, there was a game or VR something like that that allowed you to purchase a land on Mars or Moon, something like that. So you can just purchase a virtual land on Mars or Moon, and you can just say, "I own this place," or even Earth as well. Yeah, back in like 4 years ago, I really heard that thing as well. But NFTs uh, can be a lot of things. Like as uh, talked earlier, they can be assets like guns or any art or furniture, anything. Like since you can buy a furniture stuff for like NFT, and you can use that in any kind of thing. So NFTs for me are less likely to make a comeback into the gaming industry, but if they do, yeah, it's just a uh, to me it's not a really uh, interesting thing in the future.
Okay, perfect. Okay, coming back to Hamza. Hamza, as you are a game producer, how do a collaborative storytelling mechanics influence the design of game as you produce games? So, what do you think that a storytelling mechanics can affect the gaming?
I think if you're creating a story-driven game, then only it will affect the actual game design. because when you're creating a game, you have to choose between it's more like you have to choose between like a single player game or a multiplayer game. So if you go into a multiplayer game, then you select like co-op, or should it be a PvP, or what the mod should be. So mostly we see the story-driven trends in a single-player game. It's mostly in a single-player game, as the player enjoys the crisp story of the game. And once you're creating a story game, let's just say an RPG or MMO, so you basically are relying on the story as a whole game. So other mechanics such as the character controller or the NPC or the quests, they will be the secondary loops of the game. But the primary loop of the game, the core loop of the game, would be the story that is revolving around the game. So I think it all depends upon the which type of genre you are going to be making. So
Okay, very, very deep things that you talk about. I don't know about that much, but it shows that you know a lot about it.
yeah.
Okay, coming back to Sana. Okay, Sana. So, how can gaming platforms better support streamers and encourage community driven content? You are a gamer, right?
Yes.
So, how do you think the communities and platform supports gamer?
Gaming communities like uh, have become more social, interactive, and inclusive. And gaming platforms can support streamers by integrated streaming tools, providing built-in features for live streaming and content creation. And the second is revenue sharing, offering monetization options like revenue, affiliate program, or exclusive partnership. And the third one is audience engagement, enabling interactive features like chat, overlays, polls, or viewers rewards. And the fourth one is exclusive content, uh, granting early access to games or unique in-game items for streamers to showcase. And the fifth one is analytics and insights, offering tools to track audience metrics and optimize content.
Okay, coming back to Anas. Okay, Anas, as a game developer, what are the biggest barriers to innovation in gaming today, and how do you think industry gonna overcome that? You definitely face a lot of
Yeah,
barriers in everyday field.
yeah. Can you please repeat the question?
Yeah, sure. What are the biggest barriers to the innovation in gaming today, and how do you think that industry gonna overcoming that?
I, to be fair, the biggest are monetization, definitely. So everyone, like, obviously wants to make money off of their game, and the biggest, all of these huge companies like Call of Duty, I think Valorant and Fortnite, they're all mostly following the same single trend. They followed the single trend. So Fortnite started a battle royale, and then the others followed. So if one gives a good success, the others just follow. So that that following a one single trend limits a lot of possibilities. So you are not allowed to bring any uh, what you call it uh, innovation into the game, because in bringing innovation, bringing new things into the game, new mechanics, does not necessarily translate to a good experience. people, the bigger companies are not ready to, or are not ready to take the risk because they are afraid of losing their fan base, and hence their shares will go down and their sales will be lowered and everything. So companies are not ready to take the risk, that kind of risk, and jump into the new, unknown, unseen environment. That's why the monetization is the biggest thing that limits the innovation in upcoming games.
Okay, so monetization seems up like a thing that definitely make you issue. Okay, coming back to Hamza. Okay, Hamza, so as you definitely own a team, what are the skill development through gaming you can see? What are the skills you think we can develop through gaming, such as strategy or communications? What are the skills game help you to build?
So there are many type of players who enjoy different genres, right? So let's say if you play FPS, your cognitive abilities will improve drastically. Your reaction time will improve. Your hand coordination will improve. So those are some skills that might improve. Also, if you are a F1 racer, like F1 player, and you have a proper wheel setup and everything, a sim rig, you can say, and if you play daily, there is a whole movie about it, like Gran Turismo, and in which it tells a story about a player who used to play F1 racing games in his house, and he got an excellent opportunity in real life F1 world, and he just transferred those skills from the PC gaming, the sim gaming, to the actual F1 car, and he just drove better than most, you can say, professional drivers out there. So yes, it all depends upon which genre you are playing. Every genre has a different. Every genre just provides you with a different soft skill in your like arsenal. So you can say like you gain different skills from different genres. So it all depends upon which genre you are playing the most.
Okay, which genre do you play the most?
I play FPS, like I play CS a lot. I have been playing since 2018, and you can say I have like the badges. There's like badges in CS. It just takes about like 6 months of continuous play. Like you have to play every day, so to gain that medal. So I just play every day for 6 months in each year to gain that medal. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, Sana. So coming to you, there is a question: which game do you think has the best story told for you?
Sorry, can you please
Which
repeat the
game
question?
do you think has the best? Which game do you think has the best story ever? You definitely play a lot of games. According to your opinion, what are the games who have? What are the games that you like have best story? Because I personally like games who have
Uncharted.
a story behind it. Yeah.
Uh, I said it's Uncharted.
Okay. 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 Coming next to Anas. Anas, as a developer, there was a question: why gaming sounds so memorable for players? Why you? It's the
I
reason
mean,
behind it.
that's exactly why they're made. So, uh, if if we're talking about soundtrack, the game keeps playing. The games tend to keep playing the soundtrack to their theme songs or whatever, uh, back in the background, like very subtly, but they tend to they are played so many times that they get stuck in your head and you cannot just take it out. And then when you finish the game and that theme song plays again, you're just like sitting like, yeah, damn. that that did hit me. So um, soundtracks are designed specifically to make you feel like you are in the game and make you attached to the game. Because mostly there are a lot of people who love songs, who love music, right? So they get attached to music like in an instance. So uh, there is another game near Automata. It has a lot of orchestra and a lot of songs and everything. So I really love that game, and it has amazing soundtracks and all of the coordination and your everything. Like you're running to an objective, and you're and this background sound theme songs start playing at a really low volume and everything. So you just like it creates an immersive feeling that you are inside the game. And then there's another example of the soundtrack, the Dark Souls, the Soul series. They instantly just start playing the boss music whenever you enter the boss room, and you're just like, oh my god, what have I stumbled upon? So yeah, they the soundtracks are the most important thing in a game, that and they make you remember the game like to your heart. They make a really big effect, add a big effect on your psyche.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, so I think we are almost done with our event. Just moving toward the last question for all of you. Okay, Hamza, for you. What's the one trend or the you the most in future? What are the trends and the things that coming over that you think you want to be excited about that?
So I think the trend of the UGC is that excites me the most. VR is also something that excites me the most, especially when we talk about the MR, the mixed reality. So let's just talk about like MR, right? Um, I was experimenting with the VR and MR and everything. Recently I just discovered that it's you can just not use it for you can use it for the games as well, but there is like huge utility to it as well. Like I recently found a game in which you can just wear the VR and it will convert your room into a broken old room, right? And you have the tools in your you can see the toolbox lying around somewhere, and you just pick up some tools from there and you just start repairing your home. And I guess that provides me with some real skills as well, like how to fix the wires, how to tape the wires, and how to hammer the nail into the wall and everything. So it might not be like 100%, like it might not give me the skills like 100%, but it sure is a very good way to just teach how to do certain stuff. Most like driving simulations there I see VR being used as well. uh, and in a lot of trainings, such as even military trainings, you can say, people are using the VRs to train themselves in certain situations. Then there's the pilot training. I have seen some amazing rigs, amazing sim rigs for the pilots as well. So yes, the trend about the VR and MR excites me the most, to be
Okay, perfect. I think you soon you're gonna be taking a training of wiring, fixing wirings.
honest.
Okay, okay. Moving to Sana, what's your opinion on that? What is the coming trend that excites you, or the game, or the development?
Well, in my opinions, like uh, cloud gaming and VR gaming, I think so.
Okay, okay. Moving towards Anas. what's the one trend or development that excites you? Definitely, you are also in the development field, so you must have something in your mind.
Yeah, I have a couple. Like,
Maybe your own
yeah,
developing game excites you.
uh, not so much. I mean, but like, I'm more excited about the AI uh, being being used to develop the games. So, I mean, we'll just have to see where which in which direction it goes. Maybe it goes to the good, maybe it goes to the worst. We cannot say anything currently. And there is, I would like to see some, as Sana said, uh, the cloud gaming. So cloud gaming is a really huge thing. So I've tried something like that. There is a Steam Play something. I don't know, remote play something like that. So a friend of mine and I were playing a game, and she was like using my computer hardware, playing my game on my PC, but she was the one controlling it. So yeah, that's a really fun thing to try. If we are able to play games without any hardware, uh, by relying just on the cloud PC and its hardware and stuff from anywhere, that would be a real uh, big breakthrough in the gaming
Okay,
industry.
perfect. Perfect. Thank you so much. This is something that I am hearing from you first time. Or we also have a question about that. Okay, what's about your opinion on cloud gaming? You also covered that. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much, Ines, Hamza, Sana, for coming here, joining us, and giving your lovely insights, your opinions. I just love hearing from you guys. And after hearing a lot about gaming, I also feel a little motivated to play something on PC. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. So for the as we come to the end of our event, we will be saying everyone. Definitely, we will be coming in the next month with an amazing event. So, thank you so much, everyone who joined. Thank you so much for the questions. Thank you so much for all the speakers. Thank you so much and take care.
You're welcome. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you,